Like, I'm shaped like a goblin, so it's like I got really long extremities, but then it's just a little belly. I gotta, like, climb in my shower like Gollum every night. It's just so fucking... Alright, well, I'm out of material, so thanks, guys.
You have no idea how bad it gets. I wish I knew how to quit eating.
To this day, when I play the piano, it's kind of like when I play with women. I think about touching the black ones, but I never do. I don't know what to do with them.
Free society. Except there ain't nothing free, 'cause there's no guarantees, you know? You're on your own. It's a lot of jungle.
As they said in the film, Back to the Future, where are we going? We don't need roads.
Oddsquadpod.
That's one of the best.
It is one of the best movies in this world.
All right.
We actually talked about that.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah, on like a previous episode. What's your favorite part of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Spud?
My favorite part of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Okay, let's see. It's probably the scene with the French guy.
Okay,
where he's
yeah.
on the top of the castle.
Yeah.
You know? But of course, the Knights of Knee, the Knights who say knee.
Yeah,
I love those guys. In fact, me and my work buddies, we have a group chat, and it's called the Knights of Knee, because everyone in the finishing crew at my plant, you know, we've all watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail. We all love Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah, but Spud, you know you made a mistake, right?
Where?
Well, because they're no longer the Knights who say knee. They're
No.
now the Knights who say icky, 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 patangs.
Right. But see, we would just go around the plant. We'd be like, knee, knee, knee.
That's fantastic.
Dude, I have not seen those movies in so long.
No,
So
I watched The Life of Brian not too long ago.
Life of Brian is fantastic, man.
That was awesome.
Although I will say I was not down with having to see Graham Chapman's dick and balls on screen. That was like, yeah, when he
What
opens
is the
the
Life
window.
of Brian? I've heard of that. What is that?
That's the one where he's like Jesus, but he's
well,
like
they think he's Jesus.
yeah, he's like Jesus' like half brother. And so, like, everyone is going like, Brian, you're the Messiah, and he's like, no, that's not me, it's Jesus. You know?
I
It's
don't.
like,
I don't think I've seen. Is that Monty Python?
yeah.
Okay.
So that's like it's like part of their trilogy of movies they did, because they had Holy Grail. I think Life of Brian was the second one they released, and then Meaning of Life, which
Nice.
I remember Meaning of Life a hell of a lot less than the other two.
Yeah, I haven't watched Meaning of Life. I don't really know.
And I've only ever seen Life of Brian like the one time, so like the only thing I really remember is the scene where he's like, well, I'm not the Messiah, and they're like, well, only the true Messiah would say he's not the Messiah.
Right.
And then Graham Chapman's dick and balls, so.
Ugh.
I love how we got into obligatory, like, ugh. each time I mention it.
I don't fuck with. I know it's very. I know it's a hot take, but I don't like male nudity in movies.
Oh,
No?
really?
What
I mean-
what's the double standard, my guy?
Probably insecurity.
Insecure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? That makes sense because I mean,
I don't know. I'm not saying I love like there's always somebody who's having to get naked on screen or whatever.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
But, did we introduce him? I know we did before, but
I
mean-
we literally did it at the start of the episode.
No.
wait, I had to delete
Wait.
all that.
Yeah. I
Oh,
think-
damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, fuck.
Dude,
All
we
right.
literally started this pod talking about Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Odd Squad in the house.
Odd Squad.
With
Odd
with
Squad.
Richie Spud Aldridge. Who,
Yeah,
is
Mr.
dropping
Spud
the,
Mr.
is-
Spud in the house.
Mr. Spud
dropping the Python knowledge on us.
Hell
The
yeah.
Python knowledge.
You know, I will say, like, as far as male nudity in movies go, there's nothing that makes me more insecure than finding out that they had to get a stunt dick for Willem Dafoe on Antichrist because his penis was too distractingly large. Like, god damn.
No, I think my favorite male nudity scene in movie history was in that movie Midsommar.
Oh yeah.
When the guy's
the
running.
guy's walking around with like period blood on his dick.
Yeah, and he starts running and his dick's just flopping all over.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, dude, that's up there, especially too because like he had some shrinkage going on. There's some teenage going on there.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, of course.
But I mean, that's funny too because it's like when you put yourself in the headspace of a guy who's like fucking freaking out on drugs too, like you wouldn't be chopped up. You'd be
Oh.
like fuck. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys get fear boners?
Fear boners?
Yeah, like you're so scared, but you're like fucking rock hard at the same time.
Dude, my dick runs away when I get scared.
I
turn
had-
into a girl. I'm turning into Caitlyn Jenner.
I can't think of the specific instance, but there has been like a time or two where I've been so scared that I've just been like fucking diamonds in my pants, bro.
Well,
like,
does it count if your boner gets stiffer while you're scared?
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah, because my brother walked in on me one time in the bathroom doing my thing, you know, in my own privacy, may I add, doing my thing.
you didn't lock the door. You were expecting it, bro. You
There-
were waiting for it.
No,
Yeah.
we had no locks on our bathroom doors.
What do you think this is?
God damn! And
Hey.
you're like sitting there like boldly fapping in the bathroom.
We
Boldly.
we gotta dig in. We're gonna turn this into an episode of Are You Garbage?
Oh no, white trash.
Yeah.
White trash. I'm probably the most white trash redneck in this shed right now. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'd be willing to take y'all
I
on.
thought you were gonna say like in Alabama or something. You're like in this shed. Like most
Yeah,
likely.
yeah. Like,
One person doesn't count at all.
yeah.
Well, see, one of the
For
most,
sure.
one of the
Just
most.
can't by proxy. Just cannot or whatever. By definition, cannot count. So
Yeah, you wanna?
Ross is from California, basically.
Yeah, that's true.
I
That's
lived
true.
in
Do you want to
Minnesota,
comment
so-
on that? All right.
So, one of the most redneck things that I say on almost a daily basis is because, here in Alabama, being a redneck is kind of like, what's the word that I'm
Milk
looking
toast.
for? It's a challenge. It's like a challenge to everybody else, like, oh, I'm more redneck than you. I'm more redneck than you. I'm like, you know what? You want to see redneck? Come over to my house and take a look at my lawnmower.
What's up with your lawnmower?
Good question.
That's the most redneck thing I have ever done.
Is it a goat?
Do what?
Do you ride around on a goat?
Is it
Oh no, it's a Harley. No, it's a Husky Varna.
Ride around on.
It's a little Husky Varna
I'm
push mower.
picturing Spud like he's sitting there like cross-legged and he's got the horns and he's
Spud's
like
6 feet tall. Goats. How big do you think goats are?
Oh, goat.
well, it depends on the goat, man.
I mean, I'm sure there's some big ass. Goats.
You got like a mountain goat. Those things are fucking huge, man.
Do they like grass? Mountain
Yeah,
goats?
dude.
They don't eat rocks and shit.
That's like all a mountain goat does. He just chomps rocks all day.
Yeah, like that dude from Neverending Story.
The rock biter.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Genius name.
Yeah. That was like super clever on their part.
Yeah, they.
I would have never thought to name a guy who eats rocks the rock biter.
Yeah. Really thinking outside the box.
Didn't he have like a stupid tricycle or something?
Yeah, he
No,
did.
his kid did. Right? Didn't
Oh,
he have a-
God,
didn't
the
he have
Rock-
a-
No, he came in on a little bicycle.
for-
My
he did?
stomach is like
Yeah, at the beginning of the
turning just
movie
remembering
because
this.
that one the little dude was riding the snail, which that didn't make no
Yeah,
sense.
you're right.
Dude, that's cool as fuck. Actually, thinking about the snail was a sick mount choice.
That snail was fast as fuck,
Dude.
boy.
Yeah, kind of ironic, when you think about it. I guess that's another one of those things the writers were really cleverly thinking about.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the Neverending Story, it is a masterpiece. It is
Yeah.
a masterpiece.
I love how that's a movie that's filled with like wonder and enchantment, and then there's a scene where a horse dies in a bog.
Oh,
Just
spoilers.
to like really for a fucking 50-year-old movie almost
It's
like,
like 30, maybe 35.
it's getting up there, bro. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I want to see it now. I haven't seen it in a while. I also need to see
Yeah.
Holy Grail or whatever. 'cause
Yes.
I keep talking about that shit.
bro,
Yeah,
we should
dude.
watch it
You've
together.
got a Netflix account, right?
Yeah.
Fuck with Flying Circus too if you haven't done that before.
Is Holy Grail on Netflix too?
More than likely.
Yeah, I think it's Holy.
That's one that they rotate
I have
all
it
the
on some
time.
Holy-
DVD or something.
Well, I was working at this shitty ass hotel, so what I would do in my spare time is just sit in the office and watch movies. And Holy Grail and Life of Brian was on Netflix at one time.
Oh hell yeah! I think that may be where I saw Life of Brian the first. Hold up, have you seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
No.
Okay, we might have to watch
It's
that.
the whitest movie of all time.
It is, yeah. It's yeah. I mean, it's English people, so think like the whitest shit and then think even whiter.
And just imagine people trying to be funny like 50 years ago.
Also, whatever you do, don't try to pass the credits. The credits are the best part of the movie.
I
Yeah.
believe that.
It's true. It is.
Shitting on it.
That is. Yeah. Well, if only you knew. If only you knew how fucking great
Yeah.
that credit sequence is.
I'll check it out.
Cause it's sort of like there's some comedy that it's just so subtle. That's what makes it the funniest thing in the world. Because
yeah.
around the same time as Monty Python was doing his movies, they also had Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Oh
a good one.
God, yeah.
It's like a parody, right? Like,
yeah, and that's what it's all about. It's
or,
the parodies.
Or a spoofish
I
type thing.
Yeah, because
Man, it's funny you mentioned that because that's like that just goes on to the subject of Mel Brooks. That was a Mel Brooks production, and
Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles. Yeah, Spaceballs was my particular favorite.
Wasn't dude from Honey I Shrunk the Kids in that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rick
yeah,
Moranis.
yeah.
That was yeah. He's
Fucking dog, dude.
we just can't get
Holy
away from the dog.
shit.
Was
he's like,
it
let
going
me
off earlier
in.
while you guys were
You heard the episode where she's like,
Yeah,
Just
background?
walking around the
Dude, I
fucking-
wanted to kill myself. I hated it. Anyway.
How many goddamn fucking
Every episode, dude, she's got to start barking. Or
how many
some shit.
formaldehyde hot dogs do we have to feed her
I
before
am
she
just-
finally fucking croaks?
Well, see, I know, because I was doing
Hold on.
YouTube
Yeah.
for a little
I
while,
want to hear what you got to say about this.
and one of the hardest things about, 'cause it's the same thing on a podcast, because you want to make you don't want any cuts. There's not any cuts,
Eh?
and that is the time.
I don't know about that, but
That is the time when your dogs will start barking. Everyone's going in and out of the house,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and you can't get no daggum quiet. And you're just like, well, I'm just gonna go fuck myself then.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had spoken about simulation theory before, because that's kind of like one of those simulation theory topics, at least in the way that we had discussed it. Because it's like, I've worked for a retail establishment for a number of years, and it always seems that whenever you've got two people in that building, as soon as one goes on their break or clocks out for the day, there's an onslaught of people that comes to the door, almost like they could smell it. Like, oh, there's only one employee in that shop right now. Let's all pile in there right now like a bunch of fucking zombies.
Bruh, going back to that hotel that I worked at, I mean, I was working there, and it was my first day going solo on the job. Prior to this, I had 2 days of training.
Okay.
And so I knew the basic routine of, checking people out, looking for reservations, all that kind of, making reservations, all that good shit. My first day going solo, it was 8 o'clock at night, and there was 7 reservations walk through the door at one time.
Christ.
It was a madhouse. I'm trying to help a lot of people, and the door at this
Wait,
hotel.
were they all reserved for the same time?
Some of them were reserved. No, like there is no set time for the reservation. There's just a time where we can't accept them in, because of reasons.
It sounds like it defeats the purpose of a reservation.
It defeats the purpose, which this hotel was crummy anyway. It's an enterprise. It's a shithole. Don't go in there. One of my favorite moments
I got no
working.
business being
Don't
in
go
hotels.
in there.
One of my favorite
Unless
moments.
it's for comedy shows these days.
One of my
Hotel.
favorite moments of working at that hotel, I was sitting in the office. I was just watching the security cameras, and this old boy gets out the hotel room, and he's beating the shit out of a hooker.
Oh my god. Was it Lynch
Nice.
Shlomi, the fucking ShamWow guy?
No, he kind of looked like Jason L, but it wasn't.
Man. That's rough.
Yeah,
I
that-
can see that.
yeah.
Just kidding.
And that's
It's a
where I
joke.
learned the emergency time for the police to get to that hotel was 2 minutes and 35 seconds.
Wow.
I know.
Damn.
Wow, because the guy was beating up a hooker too. That's like, you'd think that would be like, on the bottom rung of like a police officer's cares, but that's cool.
If
That's
you get
progressive.
if something happens to you in Montgomery, it's more like 2 hours and 35 minutes.
If something
And by that
happens-
point, you're fucking dead
I'm
on the
dead
sidewalk.
serious. I got my I had to go up there. I used to work for AutoZone, like I said. I had to go up there for inventory to go to Montgomery. One of the Montgomery ones, they would like pull managers from other stores to do that. And while we were in there, it was like 11 a.m. While we're in there, fucking somebody busted out my window and stole some shit out of my car.
Wow.
Stole the guy next to me had his wife's engagement ring or his girlfriend's engagement ring, and they stole that too. We called the cops. Took them like 3 hours to get there, and they were like, "What do you want us to do?"
I just
nothing
imagine.
now.
I just imagine that the guy he steals the engagement ring and then he goes and proposes to that guy's girlfriend.
It's the best.
Yeah, by the time the cops get there, they're at their wedding.
yeah, exactly.
Because see, out in Snuff City, I had told this story on my very first set of doing stand-up comedy out there at Benji's Cafe,
Hell yeah.
and it was a true story where I was outside working on my truck, and I heard somebody hollering for help from in the woods. They was just hollering, "Help me, somebody, please!
That's a fucking skinwalker.
Come
bro.
help
You gotta
me."
What?
Ignore that shit.
Oh yeah, dude.
So
That's a little alien child trying to get you.
So I'm trying to figure out, because see, I lived out in the boonies of Snuff City. You know, it was all dirt roads and woods.
Yeah.
There was nothing there. So I'm like, well, who in the hell could that be? So I walk through the woods, and I shit you not, I get about 100 foot from our property line, and there's this guy in the woods. He is butt naked,
Oh, hell yeah.
leaned up against a tree, and I'm like, "Are you good?" And he's like, "Man, I don't know what's going on. I just woke up out here 3 days ago. My legs are broke. My legs are destroyed, man." And I'm like, "You're standing."
What?
He says, "You got to get me some help. Please just get me some help." And I'm like, "All right, you stay there. Don't come in my yard." My German Shepherd wanted him. I was like, "Don't come in my
You saw
yard."
that guy Shanks, and he's like,
But I'm going to go get you some help. Called the Geneva County Police Department, and it took them about 2 hours to get out there. We was about
They
tempted
had to call a boy to get out of bed.
Yeah, I mean, hell, we was about tempted to invite him inside for supper. I mean, we was like, "Hey, cops are gonna be a while. You want something to eat?" Said you've been out here for 3 days.
yeah.
And the cops knew him on a first name
Can
basis.
you describe what this guy looked like?
He's definitely a skinwalker.
He had long hair.
That's scary.
Sort of like you know. He was naked.
He was fuckable.
I'd say about 5'7". His penis was probably like 7 inches long.
Oh my
you know.
God.
Wait. Flaccid?
Yeah, it was flaccid. Oh, that thing
God
went.
damn.
That
bro.
thing had another week before it got up. This guy was so methed up.
Oh my God.
Oh, he was definitely on meth.
Oh yeah, it was
So
definitely.
was he
meth.
like a skeleton?
Um,
You saw like the
no,
like the
actually,
fucking crypt keeper in the woods, and you went up to him and started talking to him like.
actually, he was he wasn't as scrawny as you would think a meth head would be. Cause see, I was shocked. I thought it was crack. You know.
Did he have that build kind of like a 70s rock star where it's like you do enough heroin and you're just like perpetually jacked forever?
He was probably just like maybe an inch smaller than Justin over here.
Okay.
He's probably like maybe an inch. Yeah, he had an
an
inch.
inch off the midsection. You're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know, he was. No.
Dude, he's a chubby boy.
Yeah,
Just
he was
saying.
a pretty
Yeah,
chubby
yeah.
boy. You know, he was pretty plump.
I'm working
okay.
on it, man.
For a
I'm
meth
working
head.
on it.
For a meth
Yeah.
head.
We talked about that today.
Maybe he was doing the meth to try and slim down.
Yeah.
You know,
It
the
could have
South
been.
Beach diet.
He
Slim
could have been.
fast.
But see, his
Slim
story completely checked out because I had my buddy Donkey, who he lived the Donkey.
Spud and Donkey, huh?
Shout out Donkey.
Oh,
Shout
yeah.
out Donkey.
We are the dynamic duo. His ex girlfriend always said that I was the bad influence. Most of the trouble I got in was because of him.
Yeah. It sounds
I know
like
a guy or
something-
two like that.
Yeah, it sounds like something legit for a guy named Donkey. You know?
Yeah.
Only trouble there.
Yeah, for real.
He's
How did he
trouble.
get that name?
Actually, it's kind of the most anticlimactic story. We was sitting at his house one day, and we was just sitting on his front porch, and I had said something, and he started laughing. And while he was laughing, he looked and sounded like a donkey. And so I said, he was like, and I'm like, "Dude, you look just like a fucking donkey doing that shit."
Is he a little R?
Only when he's awake.
I knew this
He's so
was gonna be
peaceful when he
fine.
sleeps.
He probably
When he's awake, dear God, the drooling just won't stop.
Yes.
We'll see. He'll get a sound of the cows, and
He
he's like,
loves
"I gotta
John
get up."
Cena.
I was when you say the name Donkey, it's like you especially for a guy who's only trouble, you imagine something really wild because it's like, it's like I was picturing like, oh yeah, dude, he participated in a donkey show and it was the wildest thing.
Oh no! When the name started, I totally said it in a Shrek voice.
What the fuck is on? Are you sick of pussy-ass comedy that doesn't go far enough? Join the Odd Squad Patreon for as little as $1 to get access to podcasts, sick comedy, and gay hot dog recipes.
But wait, there's more.
Weekly free episodes on Spotify and YouTube. Bonus episodes drop on Patreon. Patreon Early Access. Patreon!
That's patreon.com/oddsquadpod.
Like, Shrek is my one true love.
Hell yeah.
He's endgame for me.
Speaking of,
Have you seen those Shrek parties that they had, like Shrek raves?
No.
No.
Yeah, dude, there was one in
Why aren't I participating?
I don't know if it was Birmingham or like Destin or PCB or something like that, but full on like everything was Shrek related, like green lights and shit.
Oh my word! Oh
Dude,
my
imagine
word.
that build up, bounce, 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 and it's like, what are you doing in my swamp?
What are you doing in my swamp?
what are you doing in my swamp?
Farquad. Da 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 da. Farquad.
They just cut in that some of you may die, and I'm willing to make that sacrifice.
Oh, it could be lit, dude.
For real,
Bro, we gotta go to one of these Shrek parties.
Yeah. We'll
The
throw
Shrek
one.
rave.
If we can't find one, we'll throw one.
Let's
That's
do
a
it.
promise. Odd Squad Shrek party.
dude.
Odd
You know what's
Squad Shrek party.
what serendipity? Yesterday I watched the new Puss in Boots movie, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, why?
Cause my cousin was like, dude, you got to see this movie. It's fucking great. It is fucking great. It's kind of weird. It has some frame rate drops.
Really?
Yeah, it's like some of the animation budget was like not there. You could tell,
Are
but
you
like
sure you didn't get like a DVD from the flea market?
no. And the reason I know this
No,
is
he got it off
because of the
Amazon
fact
from China.
that these were present in like the advertising for the film as well. So it's like,
Really?
yeah, mostly during like any action kind of scenes,
Oh,
there's a little
it's
bit of a
just
frame rate
shittily
drop,
done.
and I wouldn't say shittily. It came across very stylized.
Yeah.
It was very impressive, and it had a nice. You know what? I would recommend that you watch that with your kids. That's
Yeah. So for all you pussy lovers out there, what was it called again?
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
They got a guy in there who's basically Donald Trump, and that's awesome. He's like loaded up with all these fucking magic weapons and shit, and he's like,
Those are such nice boots. I walked in here. I said, "Wow."
"Wow, what a nice pair of boots!"
I don't have any kids. Can I still go see the movie?
Yeah, dude. I don't have any kids, and I fucking
Wait, you saw it in theaters?
no. I posted, dude. I was at work and I posted it up on my phone. Little Miss Dearian here. She gave me an excellent website to watch movies on. So
All right.
I did like a family friendly.
Netflix?
Netflix.com.
No.
That's what I was gonna say.
No, I don't.
Wait, are you talking about a pirating site?
No,
No, he's definitely not talking about that.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Not on
Don't
this
do that
podcast.
illegal shit. What are you talking
Oh
about?
no, of course not. Of course not.
Wait,
Stealing movies from multi-billion-dollar corporations.
hold on. Is there a connection here? Because you know how Mr. Krabs talks like a pirate, and he's cheap as fuck.
Okay, all right. I'm hearing where
Oh.
you're going with this.
Hold on. Don't steal my bit. This is gonna be a bit.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
Well, what if he's just Jewish?
We knew
What
that.
what Jewish person do you know that talks like a pirate?
I'm 2%.
It's way too cold in here.
I sail the high seas, but I can't perform on Shabbos. I've got to get me first mate up here to be my Shabbos guy for the weekend every time.
Oh my word.
Oh God. I don't know.
Hey, make sure the candelabra's lit.
The candle?
The candelabra for Hanukkah. God damn, trying to do the pirate thing and the
Yeah,
it's like not
it's blowing
easy.
my mind. I can't do it.
Well, see, so I've been told that some of the words that I say, just because of my southern drawl, they come out piratey.
Okay, what are some examples of that?
So I was messing with this here Yankee girl, okay, and I had said the word orange. What she heard was orange.
All right.
Yeah.
Fought tooth and nail with me over that. I said orange. She said yes, orange. I'm not saying it like an Irish person. If it was that, I'd be going for potatoes.
Orange. Oh, speaking
Orange.
of potatoes,
Oh,
Mr. Spud.
Mr. Spud, I didn't make that connection. Damn. Damn,
Bro,
my
I can
brain
do-
power just dropped tremendously.
I can do anything with a potato. But the donkey, he's not allowed with potatoes anymore.
Why?
He smoked up my entire neighborhood trying to cook potatoes with my buddy Riley.
Smoked up isn't like destroyed.
Did he just like put them on top of the grill and set them on fire?
They weren't even on
Sounds
the grill.
like a donkey thing
He
to
had
do,
them.
honestly.
They had them on the stove, and they was making these potato chips things. You know,
Okay.
and they started burning, and the whole neighborhood was smoked up.
They just caught fire?
No, they didn't even catch
Oh,
fire.
their houses just got permeated with smoke.
Yeah,
Oh, that's terrible.
it was very smoky. I'm
With
like,
burnt
what?
fucking potato smell just entering your house. Could you imagine you're walking around like, am I going fucking crazy? What's going on? I swear to God,
What the fuck is that?
we went and got supplies to make food earlier, and I swear to God, I think
Supplies.
yeah, I mean
It's arts and crafts time. We need our supplies.
Did you guys craft some tools first?
yeah, we went and mined some diamonds, and
They had to go to
fucking-
Lowe's. They said, we're making dinner tonight.
We had to dodge a creeper.
We need the shit.
Not so fast, fucking verdant dick. I don't know.
What?
Anyways, I think a chicken coop or something must have exploded because it just like the air, no matter where we were, it just smelled like chicken shit. It was terrible.
Sometimes they put chicken shit on the fields around here.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah, it's called fertilizer.
Yeah. We
My kids
figured.
be like, I smell chicken poop.
I'm serious. When I was in high school, I ruined all of the elementary kids' lives because we was going by this farm and they was like, "Oh my God, that stinks! That stinks!" I'm
And
like,
then you
"That's
just
what's
threw a
on."
bunch of chicken shit at them.
No, I said that's what's on y'all's dinner plates every night.
Oh,
Damn.
shit.
Probably got them to never eat chicken again. No, they probably went ew for like 5 minutes and then went
Until they saw a
munched.
McDonald's commercial.
Right.
Well,
and they're
see,
like,
being the
"Want some
guy,
nuggies?"
being the guy that has to ship the chicken manure, it must be a shitty job working there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Oh.
Oh, did Justin just get it, or
Yeah. Justin was the one that take a while to catch up on that one.
I was
You're
like-
you're hitting us with shit that's going over our heads, Spud. We really are retards over here.
Yeah. You got him with that one.
Leave it to fucking Spud, man.
I don't know.
my lord?
Shit, that's funny as hell.
Fucking A.
Yeah. So where did Mr. Spud come from?
Oh lord. Okay, so where the name Mr. Spud came from? Technically, it was my uncle who gave me the name. You know, because I was a bit of a, always have been, always will be. I'm a prankster. You know, so while I was in high school, I was always pulling pranks all over the place. You know, I'm talking zip ties on the coach's pickup truck, on the drive shaft. You know, go tick, tick, tick,
Yeah.
tick, tick, tick. At one time, I had busted a
Make
stink.
them think that they have like a fucking bomb in their car.
One time, I had broke a stink bomb into the AC unit of an English teacher's class.
Wow.
I did feel kind of bad about that one, but then again, it was so funny. You should have been there. It was fun.
What earned me the nickname though was when I took a potato and I shoved it up the teacher's ass.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that part.
So I had this one teacher. He was a bit of a dick,
Okay.
which I feel like all algebra teachers are. you
Yeah.
know. And I was like, I really want to get him. I want to draw something on his.
Why does that check out?
I'm so sorry. I have to intercut with an algebra teacher thing. It was so funny. I had an algebra teacher in high school that like in the middle of one of my classes, somebody like raised their hand and he just like called on them and they're like, "Are you Jewish?" And he goes like, "Okay, go ahead and leave class, please." It was just so funny. Like,
Yeah, so I was telling the story to my uncle and all that. And I was like, I want to do something. I want people to know that I did it, but I don't want to get caught because I don't want to get in trouble. And
Yeah.
he said, then you need an alias. You need another identity. And I was like, okay. And then he just out of the blue, out of nowhere, Mr. Spud. Okay.
that sounds like a fucking algebra teacher thing to call a student.
That's no, it wasn't my algebra
His-
teacher. It was
his
my
uncle.
uncle.
Oh, your uncle. Whoops, that's right.
So
Uncle Fucker.
I went to the algebra teacher's class.
What?
And I drew a big dick on his whiteboard, and then I signed it as Mr. Spud. And he spent the rest of the year trying to figure out who Mr. Spud was. And then one day I got in my head, because I've always
Oh,
loved
because
doing.
he just came up with your name and totally tanked it, like forgot.
No, he didn't come up with it.
That's right. Your uncle came up with it.
My uncle came up with a name.
Jesus.
And so about a year goes down the line, and I make this YouTube channel, and I was like, well, I don't want to use my name, because Richie Aldridge doesn't really roll off the tongue that well.
I mean, it does. Just
So
not,
I said, you
Neither
know
does
what?
my
not
name.
for a prank.
So I said, you know what? I'm going back to Mr. Spud. You know, so I made the YouTube channel Mr. Spud Productions, and then a video had leaked to the high school, and the algebra teacher found out who Mr. Spud was. But guess what? I went in his class. There wasn't shit he could do.
Hell yeah, dude.
He just threw shade at you.
He
from
just
far
had
away.
to accept it.
He just had to walk the halls and
And
grimace
since-
at you.
And
Just-
since
just
then,
kicking cans like. Fuck.
I used to imagine. I imagined him
Potato
like
kid.
plotting a revenge for like years. He's like, I'll get that fucking Spud.
Rubbing lipstick on his lips and then like marking X's
Well, see-
on his calendar and shit.
Yeah, he like learned how to draw the dick exactly the same way that Spud did.
well, see, I wanted to tell this on the stage, you know, for
Yeah.
a bit, but I feel like y'all deserve to hear this story.
Oh hell
Is
yeah!
that same algebra teacher actually? I'm not gonna mention no names or nothing, you know, but that
Yeah.
actual algebra teacher, he actually got early retirement. I say in quotations.
Does
he
that
got-
mean he touched a student?
No.
That's what they do with the no. They move Catholic priests.
Okay, so
Yeah, you're going back to the Vatican for a little while.
Yeah.
So
You can't have
he
you in the public eye.
Yeah.
so he was out of his classroom. He wasn't in the room, and somebody ended up getting head in his class. You see, because like, so Becky and Stacy got into it like in the bathroom, you know. And so Becky thought the only way to get back
Like
with
into each other.
yeah, like they was like the only way to get back at Becky for what Stacy did is to suck her boyfriend's dick, you know. So that was pretty much what they did.
The
you know?
classic high school revenge.
Exactly. So this guy was out there getting head, and honestly, I feel sorry for that guy. Like he had no idea what was going on. She just unbuttoned his pants, and he was like, "Well, I guess this is happening today."
Your boy got sexually assaulted and had no clue what was going on. He's just like, whoa. Oh my god! What is happening to me right now? I don't know what I just.
This
knocked
is why
over.
we can have nice things, Ross.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So
I
he
think-
comes back.
I think it was a thing of metal things.
Yeah, it's okay.
As
So
long
it
as it
comes-
wasn't glass, it sounded like glass at first, and I was like, "Well, fuck."
Good thing it didn't kill you.
This thing has like it gives me a poetic end. I just am
Yeah.
crushed under garbage.
so. The algebra teacher.
It's got to be the name of your first special, Crushed Under Garbage.
Oh, there we go. I like that. I like that.
Man, so he goes into the
That's bold
classroom.
of you to assume I'll get a special.
You will one day.
Well, you
One
are
day.
special. So.
Yeah.
Very special. You're a special boy.
Thank you. Wow. I got to point out to the audience who can't see that Spud just touched my knee right
Yeah,
now.
he
and
did.
It was
It was very beautiful.
Are you gonna report me to HR?
no, but my fucking knee started glowing like ET, and that was weird. I was not into that.
Oh, what the fuck?
That's the Spud touch, my
Give me
guy.
butterflies in my fucking kneecap, which is like, where the hell? My girlfriend's sitting right here. That's gonna be an awkward drive home conversation. Fuck.
Oh my god. Well, you know what? You've earned it. You earned it. You can
I've
think
earned a
about.
glowing kneecap. That's the takeaway for the night.
Yeah. So you're gonna leave me for that Spud guy?
Look,
said-
honey, he made my knee glow. I've never had anyone do that before. It's
It made my dick way bigger than it used to be.
no, he's my alien. You can't take him away from me.
Oh, hell, you thought you were awkward. I was sitting the rest of the podcast with a boner.
Ironically, Spud does he's kind of built like an alien.
Yeah.
Like
Actually, I've always gotten I look like that guy from the Burbs.
you
Ever
look like
seen-
you look like every guy who worked in the mailroom in Men in Black 2.
I don't even get the reference. It's just funny. I've seen the movie, but it's been a while.
You know,
Oh hell yeah, dude!
you know, Ross. I mean, when I first met you at the island,
Oh fuck yeah!
I can't-
Here we go.
I kept trying to put. I kept trying because you looked like somebody. You
Okay.
look. I've seen you somewhere. You looked like somebody. I couldn't figure it out. And then you got on the stage and you started doing a Gollum impression.
Oh,
And dude, let me tell you something right now. It clicked right then and right there. I was like, "That's who he looks like." He's even doing the bit.
well, I did say I was built like a goblin, man. I'm like a
Shit.
I'm like a pot-bellied fucking stick figure.
Like pregnant stick figure.
A pregnant stick figure, bro. That's my
me.
fucking.
Wow.
That's my build for sure.
Nice. Damn, dude. Shout out to that island show. You know that place is closed now. We talked about it.
It's
already.
closed.
Yeah, that was the last event they ever had.
Oh man, that's
If
sad.
you actually listened to the podcast, you would know this.
Okay, I've watched the one with Corey, or I've listened to. I didn't watch it because I was driving. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not stupid, but
You're staring at the thumbnail.
I
while you're
listened
driving.
to one. I listened to the one with Corey, and then I listened to the first one. You know, and then
Stupid.
and then my truck broke down on the side of the road, so my radio was gone.
God damn.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's a miracle you could even make it here tonight, honestly.
It is a miracle. You know what that miracle was? Donating plasma.
Oh, CSL.
Wait.
Should I shout them out by name? Do we gotta bleep that? Just be beep.
What? No. Everyone wants to donate plasma. It's so much fun.
Is it?
Not when your phone's dead.
I should do that. I should donate plasma just so that way I've got some extra spending
Like,
money.
Every time I go in there, I'm the idiot. I don't charge my phone beforehand. And so I'll be like 5 minutes into the donation and my phone dies and I'm like, well,
The thing I don't like about that is that they put it back in you. They're like, yeah, we're gonna take your blood here, and then we're just gonna put some of it right back in you.
well, see, it's not the blood that they're taking. It's
Well,
the
I
plasma.
know it's the plasma, but the point being, they still put something back in you, and that's what bothers me. That's like, are you good
over there?
Yeah, I hate talking about this shit.
Oh, you squeamish?
I guess.
You know, the thing is that like having
I'm
the
a big ol'
needles
puss.
go into you, and like you
I
gotta.
mean, I've given blood, but I don't want to sit here and like talk about the process of how it works and shit.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have to,
I
like,
get
look out
that.
the
Some-
window
yeah.
and count the birds and shit.
Yeah, I totally get. So yeah,
count the birds.
Did you guys hear about that lady who is like metal as fuck, and she like did a surgery on herself?
metal as in whoa, metal, or
Yeah,
metal as
yeah,
in
yeah.
robot.
No, I mean, dude, she
You
might.
talking
she-
about from Prometheus?
No. Although you know it, I wouldn't be
Well, she
surprised.
didn't really do a surgery on herself. She like programmed
She kind
a
of like
machine
put
to do it.
told a machine to
It's like a
yeah.
laser thing. Yeah, that was.
The thing that fucked me up about that was when that little amniotic sac like bursts open and all that shit gets into her open wound,
Oh yeah.
and she's like moving her hands around her torso, and it's like very clearly pushing more of that shit into the open wound, and then it just staples it back up. I'm like, no, shouldn't you extract some of that out? Like, God.
It's like when Peter Griffin, the outhouse with the raccoon. He's like, oh, it's in my raccoon wounds.
Fuck. Ow. Dude, I couldn't imagine getting raw sewage into like a wound. That's
brutal.
punji sticks, bro. You know what punji sticks are?
I guess.
Sticks made of punji.
So punji sticks were a thing that the Viet Cong did in the Vietnam conflict. And what they'd do is they'd set up these leaf traps that were like these collapsible floors. And underneath the collapsible floors were these pits of sticks that were sharpened, and they were also just rubbed with feces all over them. Ooh. And the whole idea was that the Yanks would fall into it, and they'd just get fucking impaled on these things. And if they made it out, then they would get like
sepsis or something.
Yeah, sepsis from like having the fucking shit in their wounds. What a brutal way to go, man.
Those guys are dicks.
Well, see, they kind of did the same thing back in the torture days, which I want to bring back the
To
torture
be fair, we
days.
did Agent Orange them, so it's like, I guess it's even. We're cool.
Well, see, it was definitely the Asians that did it. There was this here torture, or it was more of an execution.
This here torture? I've never heard that.
That's
sentence.
the most redneck way to talk about torture I've ever heard in my
This
life.
here torture.
Their torture.
It's gonna be good.
Let's see, it was more like execution, where they would lay these people on a mesh bed, and they would plant what's that their plant that people make?
Oh, bamboo.
Bamboo, yeah. They put bamboo
Yeah.
underneath them, and then it grow.
Yeah.
And the bamboo would like pierce through their bodies.
Yeah. It'd be kind of cool to think that you had a bamboo shoot that just had like in the hole is just like perfectly cut out, a little chunk of you.
Yeah, and then it's also a traditional way to go, because you could be like, tell my grandchildren to make fishing poles out of me.
As a 1/8
Wait,
Japanese
who did
person, I
that?
fuck with that.
Who did that?
Yeah,
That's definitely a Japanese.
I would do
torture, if
that.
I'm not mistaken.
In
I'm pretty sure
Japan.
it was definitely Asian. I don't. People are gonna think it's because of the bamboo thing, but
Not to steal somebody else's bit, but one of my favorite things I've ever heard Bobby Lee talk about was how his dad used to tell him, like, so Bobby, what Japanese used to do to us, they take a big pot of boiling water, and they put Korean on a rope, and dunk us into boiling water, and each time we come up, missing one layer of skin, and then they go back in over and over. They do this to so many of us. Okay, good night. Like,
Oh yeah, I've heard that one. Yeah.
that's like one of the best things ever. I just couldn't I remember growing up in a Christian household, especially one where it's like your family are dorks and they like nerd shit. Like you see so many horrifying paintings of like hell and stuff, just like naked people getting fucking pierced by like pitchforks.
I read Dante's Inferno when I was like 9 or 10 on my own volition.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's a sick book.
Yeah, it's super sick.
Oh, not to change the subject too much, but that's all we're doing. But there was this place called Maggie's Used Books in Dothan, and the lady used to pay me to help her list like older books online for her.
Oh, okay, that's sick.
And so, I mean, you know, it was like $50 a week, and I was just doing it in my spare time. And she said, if you ever come across one that you want to keep, just keep it.
Oh, you know? Hell yeah. So you found the Inferno in there?
I found a copy of the Inferno, and it's signed, but it's not signed
by whom?
It's signed by the guy who did the very first like English translation. I looked up his name.
What the fuck?
It's in my house. It's crazy.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
How old is that book?
It's like 80 or 90 years old or something like that.
That's really it was the first time it was translated in English was as recently as that?
I guess, yeah. I'll have to show it to you. It might be even older than that.
That is so wild.
It's like brittle almost.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah. Probably just dry as fuck.
In more ways than one. But it is good though.
Yeah. I kind of like stuff that is, I don't know what it is. I was talking about this a little bit with Arian today. Like I love the kind of the Dark Ages because of that kind of just nightmarish thought that like a dude in a bucket helmet wearing some kind of tabard with like a crazy ass illustration on it was just gonna come riding up and chop your shit off, you know? Like,
yeah.
And that was just life, dude.
You think you have anxiety now?
Yeah, dude. You're like toiling in the dirt, and you just never know if the local landlord's gonna send his goons out to fucking collect your tax, and what they'll do if you don't fucking have it, dude. Like, goddamn. I mean, we deal with the same thing today with highway cops, but no.
Highway cops don't come in and like fuck your whole family in
front of you.
That's
true. They don't. Yeah.
Most of them don't.
Most of them, yeah. But that made me think of that Stephen King book Desperation, where there's the fucking crazy ass cop that's.
I haven't read it yet.
Oh man.
I know about it, and it's the other one is called like The Regulators or something like that.
I have no clue. Is that a sequel to it?
Yeah, it was a sequel. It was.
Well, they're like tied in together.
Are you fucking busting out some pull right now? Was that what that was a reference to? Your little tack.
No, that was from Desperation.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, what the fuck? I don't even remember that from that book. That's
Bro,
crazy.
I'm a huge Stephen King buff. Like, my sister is a horror novelist, and she loves Stephen King.
What's all fucking horror novelists that I'm like being surrounded by? What the fuck?
I got a signed Stephen King book. Yeah.
He was at the show where you said that you guys were BFFs.
I was
you and that weirdo that wrote a child orgy into his book, like.
Yeah.
You guys are tight,
I gotta ask him about that. Why did you do that?
When I found out that Justin was a writer, I actually looked him up on Amazon, and here's a fun fact: that you were in an anthology, not too long ago. And my sister is actually going to create the cover for the sequel to that anthology.
Oh, that's cool as fuck.
So, small world.
Which
there.
one? Books of Horror?
It was one of the ones with the dark cases on. I don't remember the name of it, but...
Real quick, Darian, what do you think of the child orgy scene in the It novelization?
Did she read it?
Did she read it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I listened to it on audio. I had to sit in traffic.
No comments. I just had to chuck that in there.
But
I wonder which anthology you're talking about. That's driving me crazy.
It was a recent one. It was definitely a recent one. It wasn't that far on the Amazon list.
Yeah.
Do you not know what it's called, or are you just being coy?
I don't know what it's called. I didn't look at the name.
Being fucking coy. He knows what it's called.
Was it the Dark Tides one?
Probably.
That's with Stephen King and Neil Gaiman and a bunch of other people.
Yeah, because yeah.
But anyway, that's cool, man. That's awesome.
Weird because I was thinking it could have been the Hand Jobs of Ilderhan. That was like a fucked up book.
Mm-hmm.
What?
The Hand Jobs of Ilderhan. That was like a fucked up book.
I think that's what I did at a Wendy's a couple weeks ago.
Sir, this is
that's not a real book, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
My favorite book.
I don't know.
They can't all be winners.
Yeah. You're fired.
One of my favorite books was Everything Great About Women by Not Much.
What?
So it was an actual book that I had come into contact with at some point. I don't know why I worded it like that, but I come into contact with this book, and it was called Everything Men Know About Women.
Oh.
And it was signed by Not Much, and it was an actual book, but all the pages were blank in it.
See, when you started that sentence, you said everything great about women. These are two very different books here.
I mean, pros and cons. I've had bad experiences with crazy women.
Oh, ain't we all?
Haven't we all?
There's a little rainbow at the end of the pot of gold for all of us.
Motherfucker, I'm looking for that pot of gold.
I'm looking for a pair of pterodactyl wings. It'd just be so fucking cool to fly around, dude, and not have to pay airfare. Although, like, I wouldn't want to be shot down like some kind of fucking Chinese spy balloon.
Well, you could do it the same way those mythology guys. I don't remember their names.
Icarus and Daedalus?
Yes, yeah. Just don't be a dumbass like Icarus and go toward the sun.
I know, man. Melting the fucking wax off your wings.
I mean, you fuck around, you find out.
Well, you know.
It ain't that hot.
Yeah, Dad. What kind of fucking asshole are you?
Who the
I
hell
bet you I
just-
can touch it.
Did they, who is who? Icarus was the sun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Icarus
yeah.
flew too close to the sun.
Every metal band ever has a song about that.
Of course. It's like an obligatory thing. You have to have a song about that. You have to.
To the sun.
Your wings will melt. You will descend.
I don't know this song, so I will not
Oh,
continue
Yeah,
it.
we're ad-libbing. We're
Oh.
doing like a hair metal Icarus flew too. It would always be something like flew too close to the sun, or like on waxwork wings, or
Why does
some
Icarus
shit like that.
sound like the nerdiest little fucker at school? Like, hey, I'm Icarus.
It kind of does.
I'm Icarus. Excuse me, I need to get my inhaler.
One thing about it, how original that your name is Daedalus and you name your son Icarus. Like,
yeah.
is that just to emphasize that you are the dad? Like, this is my house, son.
Well, see,
You're gonna wear my
Daedalus-
wax wings and you won't fly too close to the
Is his
sun.
mom's name Momorus?
Mammorus?
Well, see, Daedalus.
Mammorus?
And correct me,
Oh.
if, that sounds kind of like a euphemism for something.
A
Daedalus?
euphemism?
I'm sorry, I ain't got a
That
good
sounds
way.
like one of them that there euphemisms.
They went to Geneva. You don't blame
Look
me.
in here. I ain't got them there good way of talking, you know.
That's okay. I can't English very well either.
I cannot say the word. Okay, I'm gonna pronounce it. I can't say the word graduate. It always
You just
comes
did
out.
though.
I know I pronounced it, but when it comes out, it comes. But when it comes out of my mouth naturally, I say graduate.
Oh,
Okay,
Lord.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
Lord, you can't forget that T.
Oh, you know what? We haven't talked about. There's a new show on the agenda.
Oh yeah.
On the agenda.
Yeah, March 17th.
Yes.
March 17th.
St.
Yes.
Patrick's Day.
Yes, the comedy and the roast battle.
That's right. Where's that at, Mr. Spud?
It's gonna be at Benji's Cafe in Daleville.
That's
my
right.
neck of the woods. My neck of the woods.
Oh, there we go. We're gonna be in Spud territory.
Spud
We're gonna
territory.
see 50 Spuds come out of the woodwork at us.
So,
Only if you go on the west side where all the crackheads are.
There we go.
just little Spuds everywhere.
I'd love to go to a country and see like 50 versions of me, just all in one place.
Just go to Iceland, dude.
Yeah,
Or,
50
Finland.
versions.
that's what I was thinking. Finland, or you know,
You look like every metal band guy from there.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah. Only because I'm American, I will show up and be a little bit fatter than everyone else, and they'll know that I'm American
They'll
based
be
on
like, damn, are you Russell Crowe?
that. Fuck me, Crocky, mate. I had to get away from my goddamn acting career.
Back to the 17th. We could,
Yeah.
So what are you doing in that, Spud?
I'm going on for comedy and for the roast battle
Yeah, me
because
too.
I'm ready to destroy you.
I already
I'm gonna
have some
ruin-
jokes written, dude.
You're,
Yeah.
well, I mean, it's
I'm
not hard to
fucking
make
with you.
jokes about me, so that's not a high
It's-
bar.
They're not mean. They're
I
just,
will
they're
also
just
be-
thoughtful.
Here, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a challenge to say something that I haven't heard.
There we go.
All right.
If you say something I haven't heard, I will give you $20 at the show.
I
I
brought
just
some,
want to make you laugh.
I brought something to him. I told him that he looked like this and showed him a picture
Well, yeah,
of.
'cause see, that's one thing I wasn't really sure of with that show is that, like, how do they, are there judges or is it over who taps out or?
I don't. Oh,
I'm so prepared to lose this fucking roast battle.
I don't know how Corey's gonna do it just yet. He's working on the logistics, but it's probably gonna be a lot like the comedy competition,
Yeah.
where we let the crowd decide each time who moves on.
Yeah, that
But
seems...
it's gonna be like playoff tier style.
Okay.
Like so you won't face the same person twice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Well, I'm really excited for it. It's gonna
be fun.
It's gonna be a great show. It's gonna be a great show.
Hopefully nobody tries to fight, because you know, not everybody knows what comedy's supposed to be.
What are you gonna try to?
Are we
I'm
expecting
just
some
saying,
rowdiness?
roast battle, like if
Oh, the
that's
roast.
What, yeah,
Look,
yeah.
here, that's
I don't
gotta
want
be a
anybody getting
thing.
in their feelings and being
Well,
a
see,
dick.
that's gotta be a thing, especially with comedy. Is that I mean, me and you were talking about earlier that comedy is subjective, and
yeah,
so
to a point.
Yeah, because see, you look at comedians like Gabriel Iglesias. He's always he's the wholesome guy. He's always telling the wholesome jokes. They're pretty family friendly and all that hell.
Yeah,
but then you have
he's not the Whole Foods guy.
Right, but then you've got the the comics like Dave Chappelle and Ralphie May, who go up and they just tell these outrageous, edgy jokes.
Whatever happened to Ralphie May?
I think he was making those cookies he was talking about in one of his specials. But see, that's the thing.
He's a good dude. He's just rest in peace, man.
Oh, he died?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That was the joke. He's fucking dead.
I honestly did not know that.
He had like a heart attack or something.
Oh, well.
But yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was comics like that, though. They have such edgy material, and that's where their money comes from. They're famous for it, So really, whatever jokes are told, it's told of what the comic wants to say. They express themselves in their jokes, and
yeah.
They have their own style, and there are so many different styles.
Sometimes you have that, and sometimes you have like more of like a joke writer style guy.
Yeah.
Who will literally, like I do this sometimes. I'll think of like a sentence that I think is funny that I'm like, that is a good like premise for like a joke.
Yeah.
And like, it's not that I feel that way. We talked about this, Ross, about the Island show where I was doing like some.
Yeah. You had some one-liners, but then you also had some setup and punchline.
Well, I'm talking about like my leanings and stuff. Like I was just kind of being I was just telling jokes that I thought were funny.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't mean that I hate people on the right or people on the left or anything like that when I say shit. I'm just going for like what I think that crowd would laugh at.
Yeah.
And you could say that's disingenuous, but that's just my style. I don't get up there and try to be 100% me.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that because it's your style, and
sometimes I do let me slip in, and that can be funny too because people know what I'm doing. I'm not, like, I would hope.
Whereas like on the opposite end of the spectrum, like you got me where my act is like it is me perhaps like to a fault. I might have to try and figure out how to make my material more
universal
palatable
or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was something that I ran into because I was telling all these stories that I thought was funny. Oh, do you guys mind if I run an old? It's not really an old. I have two things about church that I tried on stage and they just ate shit, and I don't really know why.
Oh,
I didn't structure them as bits though. It was my first time ever on stage. I told these two stories, and it's where I learned that a story without a like a punchline doesn't really get you too much.
Right.
But like, since we're podding, I can tell you a little bit about it. But like, basically, both of these things are true. I was talking about how like church can be creepy for you when you're in your teens.
Hell yeah, dude.
And like, for example, one time I was in church and we had an associate pastor, and he was like talking about Peter, and he goes, he talking about how stubborn he was, and he said,
that fucker denying Christ 3 times before the.
He said, "Do you ever get a little Peter in you?"
Ooh.
And I was trying not to do what Spud just did. So I was like, me and my friends were like, and like I turned around and my dad was also like trying not to choke,
That's always the hardest is when you're trying not
church,
to laugh and then you see your dad try not to crack. Jeez.
And it's not over either. He's like, "You ever get a little Peter in you?" And then we're like, and then he goes, "I do." He goes, "You know what? Sometimes I get a lot of Peter in me."
Oh no. No. Fuck.
Yeah. And that's pretty much the end of that one. And then
well, we know what Pastor Chris is doing on the south side of town.
There we go.
And then the other story, we were at this church camp. It's called M-Fuge. I don't know what that stands for, but it's just that teens go to like I don't know what they get, like an old college campus, and they get you in a dorm room or something. And anyway, we were in a dorm.
It's kind of weird because what you're talking about, they did for me in church when I was like 7.
Yeah. Well, I think we were like 14, 15.
Yeah.
And so it was like 4 or 5 guys in one room, and we were just, jerking around, like looking at our phones and being loud and just talking and joking and laughing. And
Maybe jerking around was not the right word to use
yeah, I
there.
know. I realized it when I said it because there was no jerking off.
Were you guys
or
getting a
anything.
little Peter in you?
No, dude.
No, they're getting a lot of Peter in them.
Yeah. There you go.
Buzzing.
All right. No, we were just like being too loud, and he came in there. I'm not gonna name him because I feel bad for him because this did not land at all. Dude was our youth pastor, and he busted open the door, and he's like, "Hey guys," and like you could tell he was pissed off because we were loud, and he's probably had a complaint, but he didn't really want to make it a big deal. Like he was trying to be like relatable and cool,
Mm-hmm.
And so
Hey, fellow kids.
Yeah. He walks in, and he's like, "Hey guys, need you to keep it down. If you don't, I might have to come over there and slap you with my wiener."
No.
And then he goes, "I have to get real close though." And we're all just dying, 'cause
Yeah.
we're 15 years old. Like it wasn't like dead silence, like what the fuck?
Like we're all doing right now?
Yeah. And we were just laughing, like, what the fuck is he talking about? And then, so he goes, "I have to get real close," and then he closes with, "Might not be long, but it sure is skinny."
Okay, so
What
so
the
you grew up
fuck?
Catholic?
This is no, dude, it's a fucking Baptist church, and no, I just want to clarify.
Can you
now-
describe what this guy looked like?
Oh, he looked like if Spud was 10 years older and had like curly, longer hair or something. I don't know.
Man, it's all these guys with longer hair.
Give it a few months for my Jufro to come out, and
That's
we'll
what
talk.
I mean. I don't mean long hair. I just mean like he had like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. He had the sideshow Bob hair.
Now this guy was married and everything, and he was. I don't think he. I really don't think he was a creep, but it was just like thinking
It was
back
just
on
a
it, I
really
was like,
terrible joke.
What the fuck, dude? I have to come slap you with my dick if you don't shut up. I'm gonna. Hit
And it
you,
might not be long, but
but
it's
it sure is skinny. Yeah, but I told those on stage, and dude, crickets.
Crickets.
And I was like, cool.
Yeah,
Never
just-
told it again.
So you just put this guy on blast for nothing?
I never said his name. I was just like, well, there's 2 different people, like 2 different
Yeah.
church stories that I.
I
thought
feel like
were
that's
funny.
even worse.
Yeah.
That it
Well,
was
see-
2 different people that.
Oh yeah.
Well, see, when I did my first comedy show, I actually had a religious joke in there.
Yeah.
And when I did the set, I posted it to my Facebook afterward, because I'm like, hey, here's a thing that I did.
Right.
And it got deleted from Facebook by the next day.
Really?
Because I had all them Bible Belt Christian mamas on my Facebook who did not approve of it. So when it got deleted off Facebook, I just re-uploaded it. But
Yeah.
see, it was amazing. My first set, and I get canceled.
Hell yeah.
I'm
dude.
making things happen.
Well, that's how you
we'll
know.
be there soon.
Yeah. You're a successful
With this
comedian at
pod,
that point.
We'll be there soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the cancellations are
They're gonna
coming.
hate us, dude.
Do you care to comment?
Please. Are you offended?
Are you offended right now?
I mean, do
Oh,
any of
thank
us
God.
really exist?
Oh, wow.
Dude, don't start that.
Wait, what?
I will never leave the shed.
What did
I'll
you
just
say?
be out here just slamming my head into the wall like, fuck, he's right. We don't exist.
I mean,
Why does this hurt? Why does anything hurt?
it's a simulation.
Yeah. The guy who programmed this is a dick.
Was pain necessary? Was it necessary to... I mean, like, that specific signal, could we not have had a little thing that, like, tickles us, maybe? Anytime we get a little burnt or something? Just, like,
You're assuming... Well, okay, never mind.
talking about pain.
You're talking about intelligent design.
Look.
I believe the whole... I'm a conspiracy theorist by trade.
All right.
By
you for
trade,
saving me. I
I'm
was
a
gonna-
conspiracy theorist. So I kind of had this theory, because the theory of simulation is that pretty much that we're all...
Oh, we know. We talked about it on here.
Yeah.
So what? Just go right into it, dude. We're into it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so with the theory of simulation being like, it is a simulation.
Yeah.
I like to think of it as these simulations. What if the real year is like 3085, and they put these different people in different simulations of different time periods. So they'll be like, if someone grew up in this time period in this place around these people, how would they turn out as a person
Yeah.
from that day and the age?
Right.
And I feel like that's what the simulation is. So when you,
You mean
feel
like
burned,
a control group, and then so like when we put this person in the 50s,
yeah.
this is how their life turned out.
This
When
is how their
we
life
put
turned out.
When we drop this person in the, and that's also why like I don't know, man.
And that's probably it could be a theory of the Mandela effect, where there was a glitch in the simulation that caused a few things to not exist, like the Berenstain Bears and all that.
I don't want to keep playing on this server. I want to go to a different server.
Talk to Elon Musk. He'll take you to that Mars server.
Yeah.
But you got to die there.
Yeah, exactly.
If you make it there.
Do you want to go to Mars? You don't want to colonize another planet?
Boys go to Mars to get more candy bars.
That'd be kind of cool, though, wouldn't it? Like, you get to colonize Mars, to seed life on a new planet, and to just explore the open dunes, fucking climb.
Have you seen The Martian?
Have you seen? I haven't. Have you seen The Martian with Matt Damon?
With the guy who survives on Mars.
Yeah.
Himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
You got to see it, dude.
Speaking of Ridley Scott movies, like that's another one is The Martian.
Oh, really? That was by him?
Yeah.
Oh, that was our publishing company when we did those reality bleed books. Me and my buddy Jay-Z Foster, and they did our audio. That we got like literally signed to this publishing company. And it's the same company that did the audiobook for that movie.
Oh, that's cool as hell. Who read the audiobook?
I don't remember, man.
Not Matt Damon, that's for sure.
I don't think so.
They probably got some English cunt to do it.
I wish I could remember, man. I really can't remember. But anyway, that was their first audiobook, and then they got bigger and bigger and bigger. And
oh, that's nuts.
That's how they got us the guy from Mass Effect to do the voice of the books.
Which guy?
I don't want to tell you.
Is it Commander Shepard?
No.
Is it Garrus?
It's from Andromeda. It's the male lead in Andromeda.
I'm only human after both. I'm only human.
I don't even know the dude's name, but it's Andromeda's male lead. That guy did.
That's unfortunate.
But he had done a bunch of Alien audiobooks and like Disney shit, Marvel shit. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, we need to wrap this one up, fellas.
All right.
Okay, well, I had a blast.
Did you have anything to plug? Any social media or anything like that yet? I know we talked about the shows. Real quick, we'll run down those because I don't know when this is coming out. March 8th, Ozark at Happy Times.
Yeah.
March 17th, Daleville at Benji's Cafe.
Yep.
That is a comedy show and roast battle. And then what is it?
April 1st. Yeah.
Ozark at Harlow's. Crawdad Festival comedy show. Live music afterwards.
Hey, that's
come
not
eat
bad.
some fucking crawdads.
I think that's it for
Come
right
up
now,
laugh.
but there's more coming. So
Right.
Anything to plug?
No, not really. You know, I mean,
well, they can come see you at. I know they can come see you March 17th in Daleville at Benji's Cafe.
We'll be at Benji's Cafe on the 17th.
That's a great spot for comedy.
Oh yeah, it's so close to my house.
Oh man, I love it. Like I've what is it? 2 times there, I think now.
Oh yeah,
it's a great little spot. Shout out Zolma.
Oh yeah, big shout out to her.
Corey, Big B for putting that together.
Yep.
Hell yeah, it's gonna be fun. But for now, we're.
And lastly, shout out God. I'm just kidding.
All right, Odd Squad out.
Odd Squad.
Bye.
Yeah. Don't get it twisted. This rap shit is mine. Mother X gon' give it to you. Fuck, wait for you to get it on your own. X gon' deliver to you. Knock, knock, open up the door, it's real. With the non-stop pop out and stainless steel. Go hard getting busy with it. But I got such a good heart that I make a motherfucker wonder if we did. Damn right, and I do it again. I am like, so I got to win. Break bread with the enemy. No matter how many cats I break bread with, I break who you sending me. You motherfuckers never wanted nothing but your life saved. Bitch, and that's on a life day. I'm getting down, like a nigga said freeze. But won't be the one ending up on his knees, bitch, please. If the only thing you can't steal was came out to play, stay out my way, motherfucker. We gonna rock, till we gonna roll.